Hi Noteboard Gamers and welcome back to Noteboard Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Now, this morning at about 8 o'clock there was a knock on my door and I received an early review copy of this game right here. A game I've been waiting for since I first played it nearly 18 months ago. So, of course, I'm talking about the upcoming Star Trek The Captain's Chair, designed by David Turczi and Nigel Buckle and published by Wiz Kids. Of course, it is a Star Trek themed deck building game which is based on the wildly popular Imperium system, again, which was designed by David and by Nigel. Now, David is a self-confessed Trekkie. This guy absolutely loves Star Trek. So you better believe that if he's going to make a game about his favourite show of all time, that he's going to put his heart and soul into it. So as I say, I first played this about 18 months ago with David at UK Games Expo. At that point, I couldn't tell anybody about it whatsoever. Between us, we ended up calling it Project Teletubbies because I couldn't speak the name of Star Trek. But again, earlier this year, more information started to come to light, and you'll have seen there's already been a couple of videos. I know Rado's done a video on it, and Paul Grogan's done a couple of fantastic videos on it as well. But Wiz Kids have been kind enough to send me along a early production copy. Now, this is an early production copy. It looks like it's going to be going out or going to be available for people, probably based on what David said on BGG fairly recently. If it doesn't make it for the Christmas period, they're going to push it into kind of January/February, etc. So pretty soon, in the next month or two, people will be able to pick up this copy, or their copy, should I say, of Star Trek: The Captain's Chair. Now, this, first of all, is kind of the base set, if you like, which has got everything in there. I think it's got 6 different captain's decks in there. But David's designed a whole slew of other decks. I think, again, reading on BGG, he's currently designed somewhere between 24 and 27 decks. They'll be coming out in future expansions. I was with David on Saturday at GridCon, which is Paul Grogan's gaming convention, which is held in Devon each year. And David and I played with a couple of decks. I cannot tell you who I played, but let me tell you, it was just as much fun as when I played with David with some of the early development decks for this particular box as well. So I'm really excited to get this. It came about 8 o'clock this morning. I've had a really busy day working. I work from home and then spent time with my family. It's currently 10 past 11 at night and it's still in shrink wrap because I wanted you guys to see with me what you get inside the core box of Star Trek: The Captain's Chair from Wiz Kids, designed by David Turczi and Nigel Buckle, and I say based on Imperium system. So without much further ado, let me take you down. We'll open the shrink wrap together, delve into the box. Obviously, I'm not going to show you every card because there's a hell of a lot of cards in. There's 243 cards, so I'm not going to show you every card, but I'll try and give you a good overview of each of the captains that's in there and exactly kind of what else you get in this box. Really, really looking forward to this. It's stared at me all day. Let's go and have a look inside the box right now. Okay, so here we can see the box is still in its shrink wrap. There's a glare on there from my lights above. Obviously, I will take that off very shortly. Just a note about the map behind, the player map behind. It's not from Star Trek. This is from the best game that nobody's playing at the moment, which is Conquest Princess, Fashion is Power from Seppi Yoon. And just take a look at the map before I go into the game. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, here we go. Captain's Chair, David Turczi, Nigel Buckle, a deck building game published by Wiz Kids. Each game is going to take between 60 and 120 minutes, it says here, ages 14 plus, and for 1 to 2 players. From David Turczi and Nigel Buckle, designers of Voidfall and Imperium Classics, Legends and Horizons, comes a strategic, fascinating deck building game that puts you into one of the most powerful and weighty seats of the galaxy, the Captain's Chair. There we go, there's more blurb on there, and we can see a suggested player layout just there. So let me take this cellophane off. Here we go, we'll cut it with the knife, always the worst part to get into a box. And we can see it now without the glare of the cellophane. And obviously there's a little bit of lid lift in the before you unpack everything, but that lid lift will go and everything will hit down, get down back into the box itself. So here we go. Explore new worlds, make exciting discoveries, and outsmart your opponent. What does it come with? Well, let's have a look. 243 cards, 32 ship tokens, 12 automated command cards, 2 player aids cards, 6 speciality markers, 25 Latinum tokens, 30 dilithium tokens, 9 action tokens, 6 mission completion tokens, 12 away team tokens, 51 glory tokens, 10 times 5 resource tokens, 1 market strip, 1 starting player token, 1 card list, 1 score pad, 1 rulebook, and 1 solo rulebook. Fantastic. All right, so this is it. We're going in now. We're going to take the lid off the box of the captain's chair. It's a really exciting moment. Bit of packing there, so we'll just get rid of that packing for now. And here we go. The first thing we can see is this common card list. So this tells you kind of, each of the common cards that are in the deck itself and what the various factions are on there. So factions, I suppose, Starfleet, business or human, transgender. So it's their kind of specs on there. There's an incident one down at the bottom. So we've got ally, location, person, cargo, ship, encounter, and incidents, and that just gives you a common card list of what's in there. We have the rulebook itself, and I'll come back to this in a moment when we look at a bit more of the contents. Then we have the Starfleet Command training program. So it's got 2 essential solo modes. One of them is very much a training mode that allows you to kind of get used to the mechanisms of the game. The next is the full-on solo mode against the bot itself. And again, we'll come back to that in a second. So let's have a look at which captains we get in the box then. So first one we have is Picard. And it tells you somewhere, I don't know where it might be in the book itself, where it tells you kind of what their difficulty level is. And I believe that Picard is one of the easiest ones to kind of pick up and play with. And each board has got a basic side and it's got an advanced side as well. So let's look at Picard. His peace negotiations, goal, have 3 allies on the same ship and at least 2, whatever those are, at 4+. Or gain 4 of these, the Latinum, dilithium, and draw 4 cards. You may get a junk card from the market. You may be able to tell, by the way, I'm not a Trekkie. So if you've got people there screaming at me, telling me exactly what I'm missing out on and what I'm not saying correctly, then I do apologise, but I'm not a Trekkie. But I do love this game. So we have some glory tokens, we have the mission complete tokens. These are some of the away teams here. Next up, we have Koloth. Somebody's going to tell me where this guy's from. Again, I don't know. His goal is to have 6 deployed ships or controlled locations in play, and at least 1 of each. Or the reward is to enlist 2 reserves or enlist a development and dismiss a deployed ship. And there we go. There's the advanced side as well there. And you can see these little punch outs because it's got scoring board here. Well, it's going to help you with your scoring. And you're going to move cubes up and down here. Again, some glory tokens, mission complete token, some away teams. Okay, next we got Cisco. His goal is to have 4 ships deployed and have a handshake at 7+, or there we go, that must be this one here, or this one at 7+. Your reward is enlisted development, reducing the cost by 1 of those. That's dilithium, 1 latinum, I believe, for each starbase you have in play. Again, glory tokens and away team tokens. And there we go, that's the advanced side for Cisco just there. Who we got next? We got Sella, the Romulan Knight. The goal is to have this at 6 and this at 6+, and your reward is to enlist a development and find an attack. 2 glory tokens, mission complete token, again some away teams. Let's once again look at the advanced side on the back. So as you can see, it's got basic and advanced on each one. Then we have Shran. Securing Andoria's borders. Goal is to have 3 controlled locations in play and 4 weapon cards in play. Your reward is to scan 1 of the ships and draw a card and gain an action token. There we go, there's Shran. And there's the advanced side for Shran. Then we have Burnham, who's Investigate the Burn. Have 2 incidents, a scientist and a, what's that say? Kelpian on the same ship, and this at 5+, and your reward is going to be take the top Discovery and put it on the top of your deck and recrystallize up to 2 dilithium crystals. Again, glory tokens, mission complete token, and away team tokens there. And there's the advanced side. Then we got here. So this here is part of the kind of market, if you like, the cards that you're going to put out. We have some wonderful of their ships here. There's, yeah, I believe that's a Klingon. Again, Trekkies, I do apologise if I'm getting this wrong. I believe that's a Klingon. But these are the various ships that you're going to be calling out into play. Oh, there we go. It tells you what we got. So we have an Andorian Crusher. We have Buck's ship. We have Deep Space Nine. We have IKS Divisor. We have a Bird of Prey. We have IKS Groth. We have the Kia Cruiser, holographic drone ship, and a Borg probe as well. There we go. There's the Borg probe. Oh, more ships as well, and some more glory tokens here. So let's go over here and see what we got. We've got the USS Discovery A. We have the Katinga Battle Cruiser. We have the IRW Garaxus. We have the Packled, I don't know, freighter. We have the Scimitar. We have a Type 7 shuttlecraft, an IRW Teryx, a Kazon Raider, Sona Battle Cruiser, IKS Kothos, IRW Valdor, and IRW Kazara as well. So there we go. That's the ships on that one. Because again, you're going to put these ships are going to come out in the deck, and you're going to get to use these ships. And then we have the USS Pasteur, the USS Rio Grande, the USS Federation. We also have the USS Reliant, the Zindi Reptilian ship. We have the USS Enterprise D, I think everybody said the Enterprise, USS Enterprise C, the USS Bozeman, and the Voth research vessel as well. So again, some more glory tokens, and there's all the ships that you can get. And then we have some more glory tokens, some 5 times resource tokens, and also a starting player token as well. So that's all the punch boards that you get from it. Here we have a score pad, because of course you're going to want to keep score at the end of the game. Score has been, for me, Imperium was a bit of a bind when it came to scoring, but quite a bit of a bind when it came to scoring. Scoring has been streamlined for Captain's Chair. It's still, you know, a process, but it has been streamlined, okay? So now we have these, and these are your action tokens. Somebody's going to tell me what these are called. Are these Latinum? I don't know. Latinum crystals, maybe? So look at these. These are fantastic. They've got, and they're acrylic, and they've got the, there we go, the acrylic kind of preserver on there. And these are what you can do. And I think each game, certainly the ones that I play, just start with 3 of these, and these are your action tokens. Some you get some free actions on cards, but these are your action tokens, and these are really nice plastic there, so they're excellent. There are cards and certain things in the game that will give you more of those as well. Then we have the dilithium crystals. These are great. Look at these, this bright pink dilithium crystals. Look at those. They're absolutely fantastic. Here we go. See them close? Sparkly. Okay, you can spend them as a resource in the game as well as this gold stuff. Again, I apologise. But there we got these resources. So nice plastic resource tokens in here. Obviously, there's quite a bit of cardboard as well in terms of the punch boards, but there is some nice plastic tokens. Then we have these cubes, which you're going to use to mark on your board. Of course, we have some standees for the ships. So I believe these are the bot cards. Yeah, I think these are the bot cards here. So when you're playing against, so you could play against any of them as if they were, you know, any of the captains as your opponent as an AI, basically. So we have the Burnham bot cards, what their traits are, what they do, suits with duty officer, Burnham 5-year mission upgrades, and suits with no duty officer. We have Cisco, we have Sella, we have Koloth, we have Shran, and we have Picard. So as I say, these are the I believe these are the AI bot cards, so you can use them in your game if you're playing against them. Right, what's these here? So I don't know which are the captain's decks and which aren't, so let's go through these one by one. Nice storage system in there as well, okay? So we've got some player aids here. Okay, see, these are Stardate cards. I believe some of these are used in the solo game. They may be used in the main game as well. Oh no, you've got some 2-player, and solo versus ensign bot, solo versus lieutenant bot, solo versus commander bot. Yep. Okay. So, and cadet practice. One of the training modes is a practice mode there as well. So here we can see some of the stuff that happens, and obviously going to be some various difficulty modifiers there in terms of which bot you play against. So those are the Stardate cards. What we got here? Oh, okay. So these are some of the common cards, I think. And again, we're not going to go through all of these. We got Rinsen, Bolians, Binars, Denobulans, Erosians, Emerald Chain, Karamia, Kelpians, Lethians. Here we go. We got a Biobed, which is, we got a Borg Spatial Trajector, a Cloaking Device, Ferengi Wine, Force Singularity, Hollow Sweet, Horta, Lerpa, Mechleth. So these are the ones that are going to go in the market, I believe. We got these, which I think are your discovery or your encounter cards here. Okay, so yeah, I think they're for the market. You've got allies and cargo there. And then we got your discoveries. So we got ancient gene fragments, not Gene Roddenberry, but it's not genes fragments, ancient gene fragments, which is an encounter. The Boltzmann Brain, the Guardian of Forever. Look at the artwork. And Iconian Gateway. Is it Iconian? Yeah, Iconian Gateway. Koala, Omega Particle, the Shakari, the Vija, which I believe, I remember this, Vija, it's from the original Star Trek movie back in 1970, whatever, 77, something like that. Then we got incidents, so you will draw incidents into your deck, or you will take incidents into your deck. And depending on what captain you use, that can have, well, it will always have potentially negative impacts, but also depending on what cards you've got. Like the card I played with, that I can't tell you who it was, it actually behooved them to get incidents in their deck. So we've got Energy Drain, Hostile Contact, Political Crisis, Red Alert, Subspace Phenomenon, and Trade Embargo. Okay, then we got a person card, Admiral Jarok, Admiral Nechayev, Admiral Pressman, B4, Bruce Maddox, Captain Dog. So look at the artwork on that. It's cartoons. That is obviously, I think, from Lower Decks. So they've taken the artwork from the relevant series, and yeah, I believe that I think they've got the license over the next few years to start releasing absolutely as much as possible. Here we go. Lursa, Mirok, Moriarty, a Peanut Hamper, Sakona, Sukal, Talok, Tevrian Crit, and Zephram Cochrane. And then we've got the ship cards as well. So these are various ships. We've seen all of these in the punch outs there, but you'll get these at various times in the game, and you'll be able to launch them to locations, etc. You'll be able to put officers on them or put crew on there. The Bird of Prey, the Borg Probe, the Dakia Crusher, the Holographic Drone Ship, the Katinga Battle Cruiser, the Kazon Raider, the Pakled Freighter, the Sonar Battle Cruiser, USS Enterprise C, USS Pasteur, USS Reliant, the Voth Research Vessel, Zindi Reptilian Battleship, Conspiracy Directive, and Reinforced Directive as well. Oh, there's some directives. So those are the kind of the common cards that you will get out in the game. All right. So now let's have a look. I think, is this? Oh, it's a location card. These are location cards. So one of the things in the game is you're going to have to go out to various locations in the game. So we got Amargosa Observatory, Ancient Relay Station, Archer 4, Baku, Beta Z, Corvin 2, Deep Space K7, Delta Vega, Derna. There's a lot of locations that will come out throughout the game that you will go and visit as well. Again, I'm not going to show you every single card because there's 243 of them. What's this now? Okay, so now we get some captain's decks. Okay, so each captain has their own deck, and you can play against other captains' decks, and you can play against the solo AI. So if you want to play Captain Burnham or anybody from that you get in here, so Picard from Next Generation against a captain from the lower decks, if they've got one, not in this deck but in other decks, then absolutely do that. Or you want to play somebody from here against, I don't know, any other Star Trek, you can absolutely do that. So here we got Captain Burnham. Okay. tells you how many awaiting tokens they have. Got a passive there. During your cleanup step, remove 1 glory token from the Stardate card and place 2 dilithium crystals on a card in the market instead. Activation. Spend 3 of those, 3 dilithium crystals to gain an ally and 1 glory token. And these are their specific decks. And you can see down at the bottom, it's got Burnham's picture down there. So these are their specific decks. They start with the Discovery A. And there's the USS Federation, Admiral Vance, Jet Reno, Dr. Kovic, Earth, Theta Zeta, love that. U Kulber, Grudge. So you've got Grudge there, some space cat of sorts, Bookship, okay. Kyla Detmer, Joanne Owiskoin, I don't know. Sylvia Tilley, Cleveland Brooker, Paul Stamets, and Saru. There we go in the subspace. So that's one of them just there, and I believe they're going to go like that. Let's have a look who we got next. Next, we have Thylic Shran. So we've got Shran here, okay. Resupply, again, 1 dilithium per cargo you have in play. Kumari ship, and we'll go through these fairly quickly. Because some of you will just want to be interested to see some of the cards, but you won't want to get everything because you want it to be a bit of a surprise. Andorian Ale, here we go. You owe me 1 directive. United Earth, trade embargo. Is it trade embargo? Yeah, trade embargo. Imperial Pride directive, so quite a few directives in this particular pack. Talas and Tara. And there we go, plasma rifles as a cargo there. So that was Shran. Okay, let's have a look at another one now. Oh. Okay, who we got next? We have Sella. We have Sella's deck. The captain there, Sella, on the IRW Garaxus and the IRW Valdor. Donatra, Proconsul, Neral, Shinzon, Scimitar, Force Singularity. Let's have a look what else we got. Tomalak, the person there, Commander Turul, General Movar, Remans, who's an ally. And you can see that, you know, as David and Nigel have been constructing these decks and using this, the love of Star Trek has to shine through. You cannot just randomly put this stuff together. It all has to make sense. Otherwise, you, the fans, the Star Trek fans, would absolutely notice the difference. Here we've got Cisco, okay? His reaction is, after you take control of a location, gain 2 dilithium, okay? Ballard is going to start off on Deep Space Nine. We've got the Arb of the Emissary. We got Julian Bashir, Garak, Strange New Worlds, People of Bejar, Miles O'Brien, is it Colmini? Odo, there we go. Jadia Dax, Kira Neris, and Quark. I've seen that guy around, you see. I do know a little bit about Deep Space Nine, very little bit, I'm going to admit to you wholeheartedly there. Looks like there's plenty, so that's 4 of them done, and there's quite a few spaces in there as well, 4 other decks, okay? So who do we have here? We have Koloth Dahar Master. Okay, he's going to start on the IKS Groth, Prototype Cloak, Boreth, Cousin Dax, Kang, the Dahar Master, Kor, the Dahar Master. Here we go. I'll go through these. Klingon Disruptors, which is a cargo. We've got Arn Darien, Korax, Krell, and IKS Klothos just there. And the final deck that we're going to look at is going to be, of course, Jean-Luc Picard. So, Picard then, sorry, my camera just cut out then. So, yes, here we are, Jean-Luc Picard. This is Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard. Terrible impression, I know. Okay, so we have him as Picard. Your reaction is, after gaining an ally, discard a card to gain 1 glory token, and you may beam the gain card directly to a ship. We have the Enterprise D. We have, make it so, directive, I do apologise, the Tamarians, the Phasing Cloak, the Daystrom Institute, Starbase 74. We have Deanna Troi. Now, I live in Sheffield in the UK. I believe the lady that plays Deanna Troi is from Doncaster originally, which is not too far away from where I live. I could be wrong about that. We have Geordie LaForge. There we go, iconic Geordie LaForge. Then we have the USS Bozeman, First Contact Directive, Data, Beverly Crusher. Anything behind Beverly? No. A Type 7 spaceship. Shuttlecraft. The Analyze Directive. The Diplomacy Directive. The Recruit Directive. Strange New Worlds directive, the Utilize directive. We have an incident here, which is put the card on top of your deck. To return this card, you may promote a person from your staging area to duty officer. We have the Farpoint Station. We have the Set of Course directive. Set of Course. I'm terrible. We have Wharf. Yes, Wharf. It's an action token. You can see that's one of the action tokens there. You can play it to take an incident and discard it. Discard the top card of your deck. Send 2 away teams to a neutral location. And finally, we have Will Riker. Okay. So that is all of the captains, all of the tokens, etc. that you get. But let's take a look at these rule books now to start off with. Okay, so it is a it's a deck building game, and it's a deck building game that has lots of mechanisms that will obviously have to mesh together. So the rule book itself is it's quite a thick rule book. We're looking at some 34, 35 pages, but it needed to be, because it has to allow you the ability to understand how everything meshes together in each deck. So there's obviously common phrases, etc., but still, each deck is unique. Here we go. We got a suggested kind of general setup there. After you go through the components list, there's the components list, general setup, and then a player setup as well. So it's going to tell you how to set up your player area, as well as setting up the kind of general area, which is where the market's going to be and where the locations are going to come out, etc., etc. So there we go. It gives you that, and this is a really good. I read this quite a few months ago, and David sent me a copy to have a look over, and it read really, really well. It is a complex game. There's a lot of crunch. It's a game where you get the most out of it by having deck mastery. So you're going to have to play it a number of times to understand the deck, what the possibilities are, what cards coming out, what you need to seek out to actually try and maximize what's in your deck. Here we go. Cleanup set, the game concepts, gaining new cards, locations, example of an entire action step. So there we go. It tells you what to do, how to run through an entire action. I think that's really, really, really useful, because as I say, you're going to be keeping on top of a lot of things. When you first play this, it's going to feel a little bit overwhelming. You play a few games, starts to understand how the cards work and how you can start to optimize what you're doing. Example on scoring cards, so we have final scoring as well. So 1 victory point for each glory token, 1 victory point for each token, away team or ship that you have on neutral locations, endgame operations on your in-play cards, and the sum of the printed victory point values shown on all your cards. I'm sure somebody will then, like they did with Imperium, release some form of app for it. Here we go, component anatomy. So it tells you here the breakdown of each card, what does what and how it works. Then we have the crew boards, what's on there. The standard shows you the card backs, etc. And then it tells you here about the cadet training mode. So this is where you can go and learn the game. It's solo, but it's not the full solo bot. It's just a way to get you to introduce you to the mechanisms. Highly recommend you do that. Then we have all the keywords in detail just there. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of keywords. And meet the crew decks. This tells you more about each and every crew member that's there. Fantastic. So, and there we go, an overview of play, an icon reference there. Then we have the solo game as well. So it's Starfleet Training Command. When playing the game against a bot, it ignores the text on its cards and instead takes actions on its automated command cards, which are these things that I showed you here. So it ignores the text on the cards and uses those cards instead. It gains glory and specialities like you do, but does not typically gain other resources. You win by earning more victory points than the bot after resolution and automatically lose if the burn occurs. Okay, so it tells you how to go through the setup there. Again, they've done very well in putting lots of diagrams and lots of pictures in there to teach you how to play solo. One of my favourite things to ever have in a solo rulebook is these diagrams and showing you a complete turn. Something that, given space on a lot of games, you don't get. But here, obviously, with David being a solo designer, then, of course, they've allowed for that. And here we go. We've got the 5-year mission, which is a solo campaign. So not only can you play against the bot, but you can also play against the bot in a solo campaign as well, which has got reinforcement decks and upgrades. And then it's also got challenges for you to do. And there we go. We've got a campaign log. Definitely missed a trick there. Why would you call it campaign log? Surely captain's log would have been far better. That just feels like an obvious omission. Who knows? Okay, so that is what you get, and there we go, Solar Player Aid. For everything that you get in the first box of Star Trek Captain's Chair, designed by David Turczi and Nigel Buckle, published by Wiz Kids, it will be out with people probably, it could be before Christmas, but I think there's probably a better chance it's going to be January/February next year. And there we go. That's everything you get in the first box of Star Trek The Captain's Chair from David Turczi, Nigel Buckle, and published by Wiz Kids Games. Now, let's just talk about a few things and questions people may ask. First of all, if you're a Trekkie, does it cover most of what you're looking for from a Star Trek game? Look, Star Trek is a huge, obviously, massive legacy spanning many, many decades with lots of stuff and lots of different factions, and lots of different series, etc. I know David Turczi is a bona fide kind of Star Trek geek. I've spoken to David about what's planned for it and how the game's going to progress. And I think if you're a Trekkie, then I don't think you're going to be disappointed as the releases continue to expand for this. So I think if you're a Trekkie and you like deck building games, then certainly you're going to love it. Then we talk about Imperium. Okay, so obviously it's based on the Imperium system for me. And David knows this, I'm not a huge Imperium fan. I've tried it, maybe it's the theme that didn't get with me, maybe it's the slightly fiddly nature of everything and the awkward scoring at the end, but Imperium didn't click for me. It's not a game I particularly enjoyed. So when David told me he was making this, and creating this and invited me to play a game, it was with an air of trepidation I went in. I'm not a Trekkie, and I didn't really enjoy Imperium. From game one of this, I kind of fell in love with it. I bought into the theme a lot better than I bought into Imperium, and I know your mileage may vary, and that's absolutely fine. I felt like I was building up my powers under my captain, my fleet going out into space. It felt like an adventure for me. So if you don't like Imperium, then there may well be something here for you. Now, if the core gameplay experience of Imperium wasn't for you, then maybe it's not for you. But for me, it kind of gave me what I wanted from Imperium. So yeah, absolutely loved it. If you love Imperium, then this is more. This is Imperium on steroids, with some of the fat trimmed away, some of it streamlined, etc. But it feels like a crunchy experience. Make no mistake, this is a crunchy and deep game where you are looking to optimize your cards and your deck. So as I say, that element of deck mastery is going to be really, really important for you. So, deck builders, if you like deck builders, this game is definitely for you. Again, it's like Strike 3 for me. I'm not a Trekkie. I didn't really enjoy Imperium. Deck builders are not my favorite mechanism. Again, give me what I want from this. So there's a lot to like if you're on the fence on this, but you must do your research as more and more videos go out. Go and watch Paul Grogan's excellent playthroughs on it, because that will help you make up your mind as to whether this game is for you or not. I will have a review coming from it probably this side of Christmas. We're kind of middle of November now, just past the middle of November, so definitely this side of Christmas I'll be doing a full solo review on this. But as you can see, there's a lot here. I'm really looking forward to getting this to the table. I've waited all day to take the shrink wrap off. It's now 10 to 11 at night, 10 to midnight at night now, so I am now going to go pour myself a whiskey, read through the rule books, even though I played the game fairly recently. So at some point over the next few days, I can get it to the table and start playing Star Trek The Captain's Chair. I hope that gave you a good indication on what you get inside the box of Star Trek The Captain's Chair. Really looking forward to playing it. Whew, yeah, you guys are going to be so happy with what you've seen in here as you start playing the game, and then as the future expansions come out. So thank you very much for watching my journey through the box of Star Trek The Captain's Chair. My name's Mark. This is Not Board Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos. It's just got solo in there. So one final thought. If you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time. Bye-bye.